Hey everyone, thanks for walking by. This video is a continuation of my last video, where I walked through an alternate timeline where Ash woke up on time in the first episode of Pokemon. If you haven't seen that yet, I'll put a link to it in the eye. Feel free to go check it out. And if you like this series, hit like, subscribe, and all that other jazz. As a new YouTuber, every little bit of support counts, and the support I've received so far has been amazing. Without further ado, let's get started. After finishing in the top 16 of the Pokemon League, Ash returns home to celebrate his accomplishments with his hometown. During the party, Professor Oak asks Ash about his plans for the future and suggests he heads to Valencia Island to help him out with some research. Ash and Brock agree to go and head out the next day. Did you notice something? The first and probably biggest change of the story has already taken place. Because Team Rocket was still rotting in jail for their crimes against Pokemon, they never attacked Ash's party, and therefore were never put into the gang war between the Pidgeys and the Spearows. This means there's no real motivation for Ash to release Pidgeot. So, Ash still has Pidgeot, and not only that, he decides to ride Pidgeot to Valencia Island. Riding on Pidgeot completely eliminates the need to take the blimp that had not only one, but two crash landings. This also means that Jigglypuff doesn't follow Ash to the Orange Islands. When Ash and Brock arrive on Valencia Island, they meet Professor Ivy, who tells them more about the Orange Islands and shows Ash the GS Ball. They stay the night, and by the next day, Brock decides to stay with Professor Ivy to help her with her research and to learn more about the Pokemon on the island. So, Ash returns to Pallet Town to deliver the GS Ball to Professor Oak. Ash was so psyched by the new Pokemon on the Orange Islands that Professor Oak suggests he competes in the Orange Island competition. Ash heads back to the Orange Islands the very next day. He decides to fly directly to Mikan Island. This means he never lands on Tangelo Island, where he initially met Lapras and Tracy. So, once again, Ash is on the journey alone. Once arriving at Mikan Island, Ash goes straight to the gym leader and asks for a battle. Sissy explains how things are done in the Orange Islands, and to earn a badge, Ash will have to defeat her at different challenges of her choosing. The first challenge is a water gun challenge, where Pokemon have to hit as many targets as possible. Sissy uses her Seadra against Ash's Seadra. The two are closely matched, but Ash's Seadra is just too newly evolved to compare to Sissy's. So, Ash loses the first challenge. The next challenge is a water race where the trainers need to stand on their Pokemon's backs. Ash can't fit on Seadra, and he doesn't have another water Pokemon, so he just loses this one. It's not really fair, but Sissy makes the rules. With that defeat, Ash feels pretty terrible and contemplates giving up on the Orange League. That is, until he lands on Mandarin Island and sees everyone's Pokemon disobeying the trainers. It makes him think, well, could be worse. So he gets over his loss and continues to the next gym. Ash arrives on Naval Island and meets a man named Danny. Together they find the gym and conquer the first challenge, climbing a mountain. Once they reach the top, Danny reveals that he's actually the gym leader, which surprises Ash because Ash is as thick as one of Brock's jelly donuts.
These donuts are great! Jelly-filled are my favorite! Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut!
Danny explains the next challenge for Ash is to see who can freeze hot water the fastest. Ash doesn't have a Pokemon with an ice move, so he just loses this round. The second challenge is to craft a sled out of the ice blocks they just made. Because Ash couldn't make an ice block, Danny pities him and makes one for him. The Pokemon Ash chooses to sculpt the sled are Venusaur, Primeape, and Tauros. Primeape punches the blocks, weakening the ice. Tauros charges at it, breaking off chunks, and Venusaur comes in for the fine details. This winning strategy allows Ash to take the victory. The last challenge is to race down the mountain using that sled. Ash chooses to take Seadra, Primeape, and Raticate. Seadra propels the sled forward with Hydro Pump. Primeape steers, and Raticate uses its chunky body to weigh the sled down. It's a close race, but Ash wins it by a hair. That Raticate booty really put in the work. This gives Ash his first badge, the Sea Ruby badge. While traveling to the next island, Ash spots an island covered in grapefruit and decides to stop for a snack. While snacking on some delicious grapefruit, a girl named Ruby comes up and smacks Ash with a stick. She explains because she grew all the grapefruit, Ash can't have any. While the two are talking, someone runs up and tells Ruby that someone's taking all the grapefruit. Ash and Ruby go check it out to find that a Snorlax is tearing through all life on the island. Ash decides to try to catch the Snorlax to stop its reign of terror. Snorlax proves too resilient to Ash's attempts as it finishes off the last morsel of life on the island. Just when they think the worst is over, Snorlax jumps in the water and swims to the next island. Ash meets it there and decides to use his brain for a change. He sends out Primeape, who delivers a super effective Mega Punch to Snorlax's big gut, winding the Pokemon and giving Ash the opportunity to catch it. Snorlax puts up a good fight, but in the end, Ash succeeds at catching him, ending his warpath before he completely eliminates an entire ecosystem. Ash heads over to a city called Trovatopolis to exchange his Raticate for Snorlax. While there, he hears stories of a monster in the sewer system, so he bounces. Ash's next stop is Trovita Island to challenge the gym leader. As he's arriving on the island, he notices a girl and her seal drowning in the water. Ash flies in with Pidgeot to save them. Turns out the girl is the sister of the island's gym leader, Rudy. Ash immediately challenges him for a badge, and Rudy accepts. Ash's first challenge is for his Pokemon to hit targets while riding on a boat, which they easily do. After completing the challenge, Rudy tells Ash that he can pick any 3 Pokemon types to battle him, and he'll match it. Ash chooses Grass, Flying, and Fighting. The battle starts with Ash's Venusaur versus Rudy's Exeggutor. Venusaur starts off well, but goes down to Exeggutor's powerful psychic attacks. Next, Ash uses Pidgeot against Rudy's Pidgeot. The match isn't even close. With all the flying around Pidgeot's been doing, its speed and strength increased significantly, and it easily took out Rudy's Pidgeot. Last, Rudy sends out Hitmonchan against Ash's Primeape. Primeape punches Hitmonchan right in his dumb pineapple-looking face and knocks him out, giving Ash the victory and the Spike Shell badge. After that, Ash decides to go back to Mycon Island to challenge the gym leader again. This time, the Water Gun challenge goes much better, with Ash's Seadra tying with Sissy's Seadra by hitting the final target at the same time. For the race, Ash sends out Snorlax. Sissy doesn't take Ash seriously, and I mean, can you really blame her? But Snorlax easily destroys her, winning Ash the Coral Eye badge. Ash heads over to Kumquat Island to try to earn his last gym badge. Moments after he lands, he finds himself on the receiving end of an awkward assault. A hysterical mother referring to herself as Mommy Wommy attaches to Ash and repeatedly calls him Travis. After an odd conversation, Ash learns that Mommy Wommy is actually the 4th gym leader. He challenges her to a battle and she accepts, but only if it's a double battle. Ash spends the night on the island to relax and contemplate his strategy. The next morning, Ash heads straight to the gym. Mommy Wommy sends out Marowak and Alakazam, while Ash uses Tauros and Snorlax. Ash uses Snorlax to block Alakazam and Marowak's attacks, which allows Tauros to charge in and weaken Alakazam with a takedown. Snorlax then finishes them off with a Hyper Beam, securing Ash the Jade Star badge. With all 4 badges, Ash can now take on the Orange League champion, Drake. He doesn't waste any time and flies straight to Pomelo Island where the battle will take place. He spends the night in a hotel and decides which 6 Pokemon he'll choose to battle Drake. The next day, Ash wakes up bright and early and heads straight for the stadium. He learns that when 3 Pokemon on either team have been defeated, there will be a field change. The first field chosen is a rock and water field. So, Ash kicks things off with Seadra against Drake's Ditto. Ditto immediately transforms into Seadra, making this a Seadra on Seadra battle. After the Seadra battle Ash had in the Pokemon League, he feels confident in his chances, but that all quickly fades when his Seadra takes a whooping and sends it flying. To counter, Ash sends out Venusaur. Ditto then transforms into Venusaur, making it another mirror battle. This time, Ash's Venusaur takes the W by slowing it down with Razor Leaf and hitting it with a strong Solar Beam. Drake then sends out his own Venusaur, making a 3rd mirror battle. Ash's Venusaur was too exhausted to hold off Drake's for long, so it goes down after a solid effort. Ash, actually knowing his type matchups for once, sends out Pidgeot. Pidgeot's able to use its flight and speed to its advantage, picking apart Venusaur and eventually taking it out. Next, Drake sends out Electabuzz, so Ash decides to switch to Tauros. The Pokemon switch pays off, with Tauros able to run through Electabuzz's Thundershock and landing a strong takedown, taking it out. With that being Drake's 3rd Pokemon to faint, the field changes to a sand field. With the change in field, Drake decides to send out Onix. Onix is able to dig through the sand with ease, and hits Tauros with a devastating attack, taking it out. Ash chooses to send out Primeape for his next Pokemon. It's a close match, but Primeape's able to just take out Onix with a Mega Kick. To counter Primeape, Drake sends out Gengar, who immediately uses Psychic to finish off the exhausted Primeape. Because Gengar can levitate, Ash figures Pidgeot would be the best bet to take it out. Pidgeot does the trick and takes down Gengar, but not before taking some serious damage. This forces Drake to send out his last Pokemon, Dragonite. Pidgeot and Dragonite have an intense battle in the air, with Dragonite able to catch up to Pidgeot, grab it, and deliver a slam, taking it out. For his last Pokemon, Ash sends out Snorlax. The battle is intense, with both Pokemon trading blows back and forth, but in the end, only one emerges victorious when the dust clears. And that Pokemon, of course, is Dragonite. Did you really think Ash could win such a prestigious title with such little experience? I know he did well in the Pokemon League, and his Snorlax is strong, but come on, it's a Dragonite. I think Ash has had a lot of good luck since the start of his Pokemon adventure, and it's about time it ran out. To say he became Orange League champion is just too big of a stretch in my opinion. What do you think? Do you think Ash deserved to become champion? Let me know in the comments and we can discuss it more down there. If you like this kind of video, I have many more planned for the near future, so stay tuned for that. Until next time, thanks for walking by.